Oh, well, they actually added tusks to it.
Wait.
Yeah.
Those weren't
My
there
wolf
before.
form. Isn't it pretty?
Here. Can you move over here so I can see it?
Didn't everyone
Yeah.
have the same wolf form before?
Yeah, they did.
It's just a generic wolf, but ghosty.
Wow. That is quite the improvement.
Kind of look at it with close up of the camera. It's hard.
Wow. I actually can't wait until you guys make your Death Knight so I can
Oh,
play
yeah.
as my shaman.
tusks. It also looks meaner.
Yeah,
Well,
whatever.
it has
It's like an
smoother
angry-ass wolf.
fur. The
Yeah.
old model, it was like spiky hay coming off of it.
Come on, Beast Squad, we got things to do.
That sounds like a slur.
Wolf Squad.
That's offensive to wolves.
Wolf bar. Wolf job.
I don't like this little worgen impersonation form she has. She's wearing wolf face.
Do I have
It's highly offensive. I mean, we're being attacked by flying women. And now she's dead.
Nope. Yeah, they don't
Problem
live
solved.
long.
They're different, so we killed them.
I do kind of like that in video games. It's like, you're not a regular person, therefore you die.
You're not a me, you must be evil.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. There's something recently I was
There is something
I was
pretty
watching
creepy about undead
that just
stuff.
had that trope. Where, like, the humans just kind of go to an area and it's like, quick, they're evil. And
That was
eventually
kind
it's
of the
just
neat
like,
thing about Orcs and Men.
yeah.
Because it was a game where you played as all these gross people fighting, like, all the pretty people, basically. Or I assume that's where it
Yeah.
goes, because you're orcs, and presumably you'll be fighting people. But,
Kind of, yeah.
I made it 5
Except
minutes in.
It was kind of like the orcs versus the Spanish Inquisition. Like, it was more religiously based than anything. It wasn't even really religious. It was just like the humans wanted the orcs because the orcs make great laborers.
Yeah, orc
It was
slaves.
about slavery.
So black people.
Yep, I was about to say, there's a metaphor in here. I don't know if you can put your foot down on it, but it's a little blatant. It's
Yeah. I was actually looking at the
a
game. I was
metaphor
like,
for the X-Men.
I'm
There's
actually
too many
really-
farmers.
really
We
impressed
are
with the like
farmers.
modeling them
Bum,
did
ba-dum, bum,
for a
bum, bum, bum.
spiders game. We're going the wrong direction.
There's no such thing as the wrong direction, just less correct directions.
Well,
Oh, we all have
Yeah.
a guardian.
yeah. You mean a shit ton of farmers that follow us around?
Well, I mean, we all have specifically a guardian that's named our guardian.
Oh yeah, you're right. Jeez, we've got like a little hit squad though. But it's like one guardian and then just 3 dweebs.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, it is a whole hit squad. One of them's wearing jorts.
Really?
Yeah. There's a farmer in jean shorts.
I'm looking. Oh yeah, yeah, he's got them. Well, no, they're not jorts. They're
Don't contradict me. It's funnier this way.
Wait, Shell, what are the like knee-high pants that you have? What are they
Khakis?
called?
Capris?
I mean, capris.
Capris, there we go. Yeah, he's got jean capris, which is even less regular than jorts for a dude.
Just these
Those
like
jorts-
tight ass pants in the WoW universe.
Let's be honest here, though. You've got the tightest ass pants available, I
Well-
believe.
Excuse me, they're
All of-
Gucci. Wait, Gucci makes handbags, don't they? I don't know if
Yeah.
they make clothes.
In
I don't know if
reality,
they,
though,
I don't know brands.
I think all of the
Obviously.
tops and
we're done.
bottoms are actually just painted on.
Oh, yeah, they
Gucci's,
are.
Gucci's only in my head because in Transformers 4 they have this really prolonged, weirdly, like obviously product placement-y zoom in on like a bunch of Chinese people in a car in China. It's not just random racism. It's in China, and he's just wearing these really obvious Gucci glasses, and the camera just lingers on him for like 10 seconds.
That's a little shameless.
They're not
I mean,
even
the
they're
whole
not
thing
even
is about
characters.
Chevy. Look at our cars, Chevy.
Speaking of, Keith, I noticed you had like a pretty high comment on a recent JonTron video. The Smite one,
Yes,
right?
Um,
Yeah.
because people are bitching about it being a sponsored video.
I was thinking about that actually for a while. Like, I saw your comment and I was like, I kind of want to respond to this, but I want to think about it too.
Have you
And-
thought about it?
Well, I was thinking about it purely because like it was very obvious that when he did Valiant Hearts, that
That-
was very clearly a sponsored video, but it was still very creative. which I was kind of surprised by because usually when I think like product placement, I usually think of New Shitty.
Well,
and
in
Shameless.
both cases, the videos are basically just live Let's Play content that was highlighted in a video, like as a highlight reel of a Let's Play.
Yeah.
Like neither of them are
But-
super impressive as far as like work put into them. But then I think you just have more to work with a game like Valiant Hearts, because the other game was a
True.
competitive online MOBA.
That's a good point because I found myself disappointed with the Smite one because just the quality. Jesus, this woman is huge.
I found the Smite one
but-
funny for the entire first round.
Yeah.
But then he was like, "Oh shit, this video's only 4 minutes long. I'll do more." And then the rest of it was kind of
Yeah, I think the problem was like he was highlighting too much that he was bad at the game, and after a certain point, it would have been kind of funny if it was like, you know, dramatic turnaround to the point where everybody else is awful and he's angry about it. I don't know.
You can't catch
It
me. Ow, that hurt. Oh, my entire family jumped down with me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they did. It's just interesting for me, like running into truly sponsored videos, and every once in a while you run across like, I got this new laptop, or, you know, here's this cool new game that they flew me out to play. So, like when Disney Infinity came out, I think Nanners was doing a big old video on it. She's like, I'm gonna do all this content on it, and never did.
Yeah.
It was just kind of this weird, almost disingenuous thing.
Which is totally a thing that happens, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the thing that bothers me about it, because it's just so... From, like, for the Valiant Hearts one, it felt truly like a JonTron thing, whereas the Smite thing felt forced, which I think was my problem. And I'm not used to a whole lot of Let's Players doing, like, you know, promotional type content. You guys are done, right?
I think
Yep.
I've done everything around here.
You've got
Yeah.
a bunch of dudes following you around.
Oh, Shell
Oh, wait, no,
does.
that's the gnome. Never mind. You're good. Okay,
Don't judge me.
No.
I guess we go south. But...
Oh shit, I'm not in trouble
The-
for him. No.
like with the rise of let's playing as like a really common thing that people do.
Yeah.
Shelly, you still on my back, or did you get kicked off? Oh yeah, you are.
I mean, for me, the type of content
I'm blue.
matters.
Yeah,
Like commercials, or when they do glorified commercials, or like basically everything that Toby Turner's channel turned into before I stopped watching it, is just like, oh, this every video is sponsored, and it's just basically like the equivalent of a commercial you'd see on TV, but it's starring your favorite YouTuber.
yeah.
That's garbage.
I think that's a problem I'm running into because I think a lot of like games, like a lot of game companies are realizing that YouTubers can drive quite a lot of sales.
Yeah.
And like normally you have Total Biscuit or whatever, or, like a lot of people doing promotional stuff is like, here's the game, have fun with it, and they're like, okay. Whereas the JonTron one felt specifically like, here's the game, advertise it for us.
I think Total Biscuit would disagree with your simplification of his process.
Well, I would say Total Biscuit is still like the most honest advertising you can get.
I just mean partially like the interactions he has, and just the dark direction it often goes in, because people don't like the way he treats the games often, and then they flip out and
It's
try to
true.
get him removed from the internet.
Yeah, but like at the same time, what's a game that he's been like really positive about that? Oh, right.
The Dungeon Keeper type game, inspired game.
Yeah. Well,
Lords of
yeah,
the
there's that.
Underworld, I think.
I was actually thinking of there's a roguelike, and I have it on Good Old Games, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's just a random like 2D side scroller roguelike, and Total Biscuit had pretty much nothing but praise for it.
And he hates almost
And-
everything that you could call that.
Exactly. So
'cause
whenever he
calls
does
them
actually
time
like a game,
wasters.
yeah, whenever he actually likes a game, it truly is advertising because it's like, hey, here's a respected, you know, member of the review community that actually likes the game.
By the way, Shell is level 38, so we can do Skullomance, and I just
Oh, hey.
I just have level 39, which unlocks Dire Maul.
Okay.
So if we do,
I need
if we
to
do,
sell
if we,
stuff though.
yeah,
Oh. Well,
we-
let's go back to town then.
if we do Skullomance with or Sholomance with the Shell, then we could probably immediately follow it up with Dire Maul, because we'll probably level after that.
Yeah, we probably could. Okay, works for me.
I'm almost at 39.
Yeah, we can
almost.
do. Actually, we can do Earthsong Falls, Uldaman, Dire Maul, Warpwood Quarter, and Skullomance.
Yeah.
Like we got 4 dungeons. We can. Oh, I went too far north.
I think
So,
like the best channel, like the best way of handling the best people that can handle advertising without it feeling scummy
Over here.
is usually someone like Corridor Digital or Miracle of Sound.
I don't think I've heard of either of those, actually.
Miracle of Sound works at the Escapist and makes the theme songs to half the shows on Escapist at this point, including the co-optional podcast for Polaris also.
Okay.
So he's a guy that he generally makes a ton of video game inspired rock songs, and we for a while, I don't know if he still does it now, but he had a really good schedule of doing one like every other week, and they were so clearly like he started doing ones that were for games that weren't out yet, and I'm pretty sure in those cases he was sort of being, I think he might have been paid to make them in advance for certain games as advertising gimmicks. Like he had one for Assassin's Creed, I want to say Black Flag or 3. Yeah, 3, like 2 months before the game came out. And then
I guess
Quarter Digital's the channel that's just like Freddie Wong, but it's more video game oriented and has those two guys with mustaches.
that's not bad.
They were the ones wearing those real life cardboard costumes of Minecraft in that recap of 2012 or whatever I showed you.
I remember that. Okay. I think the thing is, the reason why I'm making the distinction between like Total Biscuit being promotional, quote unquote, and like JonTron in this case, is YouTubers for whatever capacity that they are performers, they're not very good actors 90% of the time. Have you ever noticed that?
No, yeah, they're all pretty bad.
So like for Valiant Hearts, JonTron wasn't exactly acting; he was just kind of being himself. Whereas Smite, it felt almost forced, which is the problem I ran into, and kind of the problem you brought up. Or when Nanos was talking about Disney Infinity, it felt I'm here because they're paying me to, not because I truly like the game. I don't know. It almost scares me from like a conceptual standpoint that eventually this will just become advertising because people's YouTube fan bases just become rabid instead of actually being interested in quality content. It's just PewDiePie likes this game, therefore, PewDiePie has a huge audience. Let's see if we can get him to market our game, so we'll do great. Because that's what happened with Goat Simulator, right?
Yeah,
okay, where are we going?
More or less. Oh, PewDiePie, that is the most accepting audience ever.
Yeah.
The fact that he can be like, I'm gonna play Barbie today on the iPad, and it's like 4 million views.
Well, admittedly, that's also one of those where it's such a personality-driven channel that he can play whatever he wants and get away with it. Whereas
he gets away with everything just as much as Toby Turner does.
Yeah.
It would be a wonderful Let's Play. Like, I was just thinking of Barbie games. I have 2 Barbie games that are Barbie Detective.
I'm just going to go mute her and TeamSpeak.
Barbie
Sounds like a good
Detective
plan.
was hilarious.
We could play Secret of the Magic Crystal, you guys.
I would enjoy that.
If you play it for 17 years, then you can eventually get a unicorn.
I may buy that for Christmas just to play the multiplayer aspect with it. And
Last
then we'll
time it
just
was on
both
sale, it was
cry.
$1.
Yeah, it's usually $1 on sale.
That game, every single training mission you can play in that game, no matter what you pick, is just a thing where you see your horse walk to the right on the screen, and you press arrow keys in
Wait, they
time
just
with what they
jump?
tell you to do. That's every single training mission in the entire game.
It sounds like Chow Racing from Sonic.
It's like, here's a speed
Except for not
test,
even.
here's an endurance test, here's one where he's like dragging a wood log, but it's all just comes down to you pressing up, down, left, right, and stuff to correlate. I think it was actually just up, mostly, just to match up with the whatever was going on the screen. It was utter garbage. Wow. Are we in where are we right now? Dire Mall? Oh, we're in Maraudon.
Maraudon. Yeah.
We haven't done
We
Maraudon
got some
yet?
weird audio to you. No, this is
Yep.
the third part of Maraudon. We've done the first 2. This is the last one.
Oh, right, because we talked about they
Yeah.
split it up, huh?
Yep. Which is honestly good, because I remember doing all of Maraudon back in the day, and it was awful.
I think
It
I may
was
have
not
only
fun
done
for
Maraudon
anybody.
once before.
It was definitely one of those kind of cool dungeons, because it's got a really nice aesthetic in comparison to, say, I don't know, Blackrock
Oh,
Spire.
okay,
or
this one's hitting me.
Blackrock
Okay, this
Depths.
one hits hard. This one hits hard. Okay.
Where are you?
I made a mistake. Where's
You
the...
might wanna. Where'd
Yeah.
you go?
No, I was still in I was still in open world mode and hadn't clicked into group rating type mode in my head, so I was just casually attacking things, and it didn't click for me that like, oh shit, I'm gonna die if this happens. So I just kept...
You forgot that you need a tank for this.
Because the first several mobs I attacked, we just casually all fought them together. So like I wasn't paying attention, so like they just died instantly. I'm like, oh yeah, no big deal. And it didn't click for me that the stakes of the area. Then I casually ran off and fought the wrong Hydra when you guys went somewhere else. And he was just... I'm like, he's not taking damage. I think I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Hey Shell, does he sound weird to you, or is it just me?
No, he does sound weird. It's like
Okay.
sort of that
Slightly
electronic
modulated.
auto
Okay.
to me.
There might be internet problems happening.
Uh,
A moment ago, you went robot-y for me. And then it
Make
stopped.
sure you don't have BitSync running.
That is hard to do.
Fair enough.
Shit.
Oh, right, because you actually have to alt-tab. Oh, there's just a random warrior here that's just tanking instead of me. Okay.
Oh, we have another one
like,
that's... Weird. That's weird because you're
they're not
listed as a
actually
tank.
tanking. They're,
He's just the
I'm,
DPS.
I'm the tank. It's just the warrior just doesn't care. Which that
Yeah.
makes sense.
I'm mining this guy's corpse. Yeah. This isn't disgusting and
Yeah.
horrible. I know you used to be alive, but now I'm gonna just harvest your body for raw materials. Hope you don't mind.
Ooh, up to 39.
Jeez, they are just going well ahead of us.
Think they're a
Well,
pair?
I guess that probably.
They're both bots.
I mean,
They're
he's
back.
doing okay. Yeah, it could be. Except for if they're both bots, it would make sense for one of them to be the tank.
Yeah, it doesn't make... Because they could easily be a tank and healer, and the DPS are just along for the ride, but it's hard to make any other combination of bots for random grouping.
Yeah.
Because the healer and the tank control the whole party. The healer's
Yeah.
going up the slope.
We're supposed to go that way. Princess
Okay.
Landslide is up here.
Okay, I was just noticing that the healer and the tank were splitting up.
Yeah, I found that interesting. Okay, so they might not be in the same party. They're just... I don't know.
They can't be.
Doesn't
They're
matter.
from different servers.
Okay.
They're from
Well, the
Bronzebeard
thing
and
is-
Jubethos.
You can actually group up with people from different servers now.
What?
Yeah, as long as they're in the same faction, you can group up with them and do a dungeon.
I don't like things that are different.
And if they're in the same server group as you, you can even do like open world questing with them.
Who's fucking with my medicine?
Now that I've actually seen that, speaking of, I was talking to Shell about that, describing to her Red Letter Media, because, I enjoyed it. And she just disagreed with, I don't think I'm going to be showing her that.
Wait,
Was she disagreeing
what
with like
red letter thing?
every point or something?
She likes the Star Wars movies regardless.
Oh god.
Wait,
Okay.
What are you talking about?
You know how we had the argument about the Star Wars movies?
People are allowed to like things, I guess. I like the movie Sucker
Couple
Punch.
days ago.
Oh, wait, no,
True.
I recognize the fact that the prequels aren't the
Good.
best. No. I really did love episode 1 when I was a kid, though.
Well, yeah, I did too, because I was 9 years old, and it had all that mind-numbing Star Wars lightsaber action. Because every scene has lightsabers in it, and that's all I cared about as a kid. I'm like,
I
this will
still thought
make
that-
great video games when I go home.
It's true.
I still thought in episode 1 the lightsaber battle was reserved enough so that it sort of countered
Yeah,
what that one guy said.
I think the main point is that the lightsaber battles in episode 2 were just, there were so many Jedi, it lost all meaning.
I better need that mana mace. I was very tempted to just need that because it had high DPS.
Is
I
it one
needed
hand or a
it.
two hand?
It's a one-hander. I can
Oh,
use
it's
it.
one hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could.
It just has no benefits
gave you-
besides high damage.
If it switched around so it gave you energy or rage, that'd actually be really cool.
Yeah, but
But it
it won't.
Maybe I should have needed it. I could have.
Yeah, actually, it is pure shaman gear. Come to think of it.
Really? I should have. Darn.
It's not good. You don't need the mana. Does your
Goddamn.
mana run out? No?
I let
Then
myself
you're
fall
all-
behind so far.
Not really.
What I laugh about
Yeah.
is that every time I show anyone the episode 1 review, I showed it to Andrew and I showed it to a few other people. Every single time, except for I think my friend Sid, they always react. They always react the same way that the character part, where they're like, "All right, try to describe this character without saying what they look like or what their job is what they basically say." And so they're like Han Solo, and it's like super easy to say 1,000 things about Han Solo, this beloved character that we've known about
Yeah.
for decades. And then he's like Qui-Gon Jinn. And at this point, people are usually on board because they're like, yeah, it's Qui-Gon Jinn. That guy's kind of whatever. And he's like stoic, I guess. Then there's C3PO, and like it's the easiest character to describe ever.
Yeah.
And then they say Queen Amidala, and of course the characters on screen are like, the people on screen are like, that's gonna be fucking impossible because she doesn't have a character.
It's absolutely true.
And but every time I show this to people,
naive,
that's the thing. It's every time I show this to someone, everyone immediately retorts like, "No, this is bullshit. They're just being intentionally difficult because Queen Amidala is young and naive." And I'm like, but she's not.
That's just how they're described.
Like,
she never
behaves naive at any point in the movie. She just is called naive by the Sith guy, and that's the one of the most memorable lines in the movie. So everyone quotes it and says that's her personality.
If she was naive, she wouldn't be like.
She wouldn't be in disguise the entire movie.
Work out okay.
At the same time, she was playing right into Palpatine's hands, even though like he was taking advantage of her.
Yeah, but being played like, doesn't make you naive either.
If she was truly naive, she would have just believed that the Trade Federation would just go away after a little bit.
Well, the fact that she goes to such great lengths to escape the planet through a blockade and spend 90% of the movie disguised as a handmaiden, or like all the actions of someone who's not naive.
Guys, I think they changed the model on this boss, but I could be wrong.
No, she's always been pretty nasty looking.
Okay, God.
She's always had the golem gut.
This is weird.
Oh no, she's farting me away. I can't get to her.
Yeah, she's just farting the shit out of my health.
Throw shit at her
I don't like it. Oh,
she's gonna throw things at her. You can't stop me from throwing things, bitch.
I'm gonna run off the edge, guys.
I don't think you can actually.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I've never actually gotten that far.
I think there's limits to how far you can get feared. Like I think it's zoned to some extent. Although, is it even an edge? Is there even an edge there, or do you just walk into the water?
I have no idea.
Well, there's kind of a slope there. You might not be able to get back up without going around.
Now,
that's a good rating.
When can I use mail?
Level 40.
Okay, I'm almost there.
So if you want to grab it, it's not bad. Yep.
They just change so much all the time that's like something I almost wouldn't expect them to change. I mean, that's something that I would have expected them to change compared to considering everything else.
They would have had to change their loot tables for things.
Would they,
to give you more mail and plate? Yeah.
I feel like there's more than enough. But even then, it's a simple, like, they could just rebalance the chances of certain things dropping mostly.
There's a crocodile down here.
Oh, man. I'm bad at theory crafting math.
Yeah.
I missed my mod that told me the rogue value of every item.
I distinctly remember back in the day, like, going out of my way to stand in front of a training dummy just to see if I can maximize my TPS by switching the order of my skills. And, like, I had a calculator to do math and, like, figure things out.
I kind of just let people theory craft for me, so basically people would have, like, a value assigned to, like, here's how much, here's what, like, a stamina is worth.
In the water.
Like, it would give me the idea of, like, the comparable value of, like, haste versus crit versus just straight agility. And so it would just calculate a like value for the item separately, and then I could just compare those the same way normal people usually compare like DPS stats. Because otherwise, it's just like I don't know. Let's do the fucking math right now. Should I do 9 agility and 9 critical strike, or should I go for 15 agility? I don't know. It's like let's break out.
Knocked back underwater.
Let's break. Yeah. Wow, this is a very big crocodile that looks like it's standing in midair.
He has 6 legs.
Yeah.
It currently has
they didn't give it like a underwater attack animation. It's just like, yeah, screw it, whatever.
It's
who cares?
Fine. They only had like 10 years to do it. They only had like 10 years to figure that out.
That is absolutely true.
That isn't.
These are worthless for me.
I always laugh when there's when they lack an animation on such an old character in the game.
And now we're done.
It reminds me it reminds me of Karazhan. In Karazhan, you could get you get cursed that you turn into a worgen.
Here. Guys, decline, leave the group. We don't want to end up doing this dungeon again. Yeah, decline.
Oh.
Because that could queue us up for one of the other Maraudons that we've already done.
Okay.
Wait, so I already accepted. I thought that it was something you guys were setting up. How do I get out of it?
Well, I hit decline. Just
I get so confused.
Right-click and leave instance group.
I did.
Okay, then you're all good. Mm-hmm. Goodbye, Maraudon. Hey, I can do Dire Maul, except you guys can't.
I don't know what to believe anymore. I can do Dire Maul.
Yep, I queued us up for everything else, though.
Shell can do Dire Maul. She's level 39.
Oh. Well, never mind that.
So now we're queued for Skullomance?
Skullomance, Dire Maul, Warpwood Quarter, and Uldaman.
Uldaman. Let's do. Are you guys set up for Uldaman? You got that pop up?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
I don't think I've ever done Uldaman. Come to think of it.
I don't remember it.
This is one of the dungeons that I never did because it was too much of a pain in the ass to get to.
Gosh,
if I remember right.
Sunflower as a pet.
I remember. This is the place in the one of the less visited zones of WoW. But if you go outside in that mining area outside, that's where they make the Lost Vikings reference.
Oh.
This is the zone. It's not in the instance, but right outside this instance is the Lost Viking reference, where they have 3 characters named after the 3 characters from Lost Vikings, and they have similar characteristics. Like, one of them is fast and running around everywhere. One of them has a super good shield and stuff like that. That is a neat precursor to a lot of games, actually.
Lost Vikings, wasn't that a Blizzard product or something?
Yep, that's why they make the reference.
Okay.
It's like one of their first games. It's really old. It's an old, like, I want to say it's a Super Nintendo game. It's a game where you control 3 separate characters by switching between them, and each one has their own abilities. So it's mostly a puzzle platformer.
I think it's actually a Sega Genesis game.
Oh, that might be that. Is that era, though?
I believe one of the Lost Vikings is actually in Sonic Racing Transformed. Because I was driving around as a dwarf yesterday. Yeah.
That is entirely possible. I don't know what the full cast of that game is. I just know that the guy from Shenmue is in it.
I went out of my way to unlock all the characters. There's a
I want to unlock Ryu Hazuki.
He's really easy to get. Wait,
hey, Ryo!
Don't you have to buy him?
Could you go to
I thought he was DLC.
Could you go to the store for me? I'm just so old and frail, and this game's boring.
I've never played that before. I saw like the Game Grumps start it, and I was just like, it doesn't look interesting to me.
It's one of the
really cool.
It's one of those super hyper ambitious games that's really amazing at the time, but when you go back to it now, you're like, wow, yeah, it sure is cool you managed to do this, but why?
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's like an entire game that feels like the side content of a GTA game. Where like you can go golfing.
That's actually one of the things that kind of annoys me about like any game that tried to be super realistic back in the day, like PS2 era, because it just looks shitty and bad.
Well, because they're often replicating. They're just replicating things from real life for the sake of it, instead of because it's fun. Like, I think a mandatory part of the story of Shenmue is that you get a job as a forklift driver.
Great.
And you actually have to work multiple shifts as a forklift driver over the course of the game. Because it's a game where you're trying to solve your father's murder, but you also have to just sort of live as a person and maintain like your life as a person would.
I've never done this dungeon before. But like one of the reasons why I like the N64 better than the PlayStation generally, and even
it looked better.
Like, well, it's just the cartoony lasts longer. This pisses me off about MMOs too, where like EverQuest 2 was just such a realistic quote-unquote looking game, and it looks awful. Even Tor has this issue.
Tor's pretty colorful though.
We haven't gotten past the starting areas, you know.
It's true, but like freaking the Sith starting area is just awful looking.
It's Korriban.
Yeah, Korriban's I think Korriban's supposed to look awful.
Yeah, I mean, Korriban looks awful, but they could have at least had a lot more, like, cool Sith architecture, which they really didn't have.
They mostly have a forest.
Yeah. I think we have to open that door somehow.
I always preferred the visuals of the 64 over the PS1 because they both had separate limitations, but the problem on the 64 is that it had really muddy textures because it couldn't do high-res textures. Where the PS1 had much higher resolution textures, but their polygons, or the textures that were anchored to the polygons, for some reason, would jitter like crazy. So like you could see like the separation points of the polygons in three-dimensional objects that are supposed to be solid. So like if you watch me playing Shadow Tower, like one of the predecessors to the Souls games, I'm walking through this dungeon in first person, and just every wall is just vibrating and showing cracks in it that are not actually part of the art design. It's just like there's just seams between the textures everywhere because the PS1 just could not handle 3D very well. But of course, it sold way better, and frankly, it has a lot of amazing games on it. It's just I was always happy to find 2D games on the PS1, as rare as they were. Like you go back to play Jet Moto, and you're just like, why can't the textures stay on the polygons? It's not hard. 64 figured this shit out, although it couldn't figure out how to load textures very well, so they all looked like poopy.
It looked really bad.
Fucking Zelda looks awful.
Yeah, it does. Though, have you, you have a 3DS, right?
Yes.
Have you tried any of the, like, Zelda remakes?
Someone let me borrow Ocarina of Time HD for like a month, and I played it for like an hour. I got bored.
What?
Oh. I guess I can see that.
I don't find it very involving, and I hit the point in Ocarina of Time where it's like, all right, here's you beat the first dungeon with the Skulltula, I guess, and now you get to go. Here's a boring
world
story with like Zelda's like thinks that bad stuff's gonna happen and happens to find you because reasons. Now enjoy this giant open field. Figure out where to go. What's your goal? I don't know. Let's do things.
Oh, they send you to Kakariko Village, pretty much.
At the same time, that was like one of the very first games to even have an open world.
Yeah, but I mean,
like,
it brings us back to Shenmue, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of
like
things that
I'm sure this was impressive at the time.
Better. Yeah, it's true.
But as someone who has zero nostalgia for Zelda, I'm playing this game and I'm just like, I want to go play Dark Souls now. You mean a game? You mean a game with like
Banjo-Kazooie? I absolutely love Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie.
I'm just thinking like
just absolutely.
We're all trying to talk at the same time and just fighting for spots.
It's true. It's because we actually care about this shit.
Yeah.
They're releasing Majora's Mask.
This way.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. I'd be more interested in if they were going to release it on Wii U.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna play any Zelda game, it's probably gonna be maybe when the new one when it comes out. But otherwise, I'll play Wind Waker HD maybe. But I don't want to play handheld Zelda.
Yeah, I really wish they'd just port anything made on the 3DS to the Wii U.
Yeah, and I do like 2D Zelda.
An HD filter. Yeah.
But that's a completely different game.
I really want to play Four Swords at some point. I think we can do that online.
Oh my god. There's got to be a mod or something.
Well, do you have the Four Swords for the 3DS?
No.
Oh, they gave it away for free.
I didn't know that was. I never even heard about that.
Oh, yeah, because they remade it.
Yeah, I can't follow news sources for every platform simultaneously. It's exhausting.
I just pay attention to r/games kind of on a daily basis, and they usually keep me pretty appraised.
That sounds exhausting.
Not really. I mean, what you can do is just do top for the week, and it usually gives you the best information.
It's more work than I'm doing right now. I don't like it. But it is weird that, like, 2D and 3D Zelda are so different that they don't even feel like the same game to me.
It is true.
Because, like, as a kid, I loved Oracle of Seasons.
I never really got into that, admittedly.
I've heard that it's basically a Link to the Past.
But
I've never played a Link to the Past.
I played the shit out of the one where you're on the island with the fish, whatever that one's called, Link's Awakening.
Fish Island. I never got very far. Zelda game.
Yeah, Fish Island. Zelda, Fish Island.
Would you like some fish with your fish?
Wasn't there like oh right. What did they call Hyrule Warriors before they called it Hyrule Warriors?
Hyrule Warriors.
No, it was like title pending or something. Remember?
Oh, when I first heard about it being announced, I think they just immediately called it Hyrule Warriors.
Okay, because I think originally they had like Hyrule Warriors title pending or something like that, because it was this huge joke at E3 that they hadn't picked a title yet, and it was. I saw like a bunch of things like Hyrule Warriors 2, the search for a title. Hyrule Warriors 3, why don't we have a title yet? Hyrule Warriors 4, we should probably fire, somebody over this.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. I love it. I love it when, I guess Nintendo is just overwhelmingly honest about a lot of its like in development stuff that a lot of other game companies aren't.
Oh yeah. I have a channel I follow. I can't remember his name right now, but he does a lot of like beta videos and videos about games that never came out, basically. Yeah. And so many of his videos are about like Mega Man games and then every Nintendo game, basically, because those are like the companies that are weirdly transparent about just so much stuff about their game before it's out, and they put out so much footage of games before they're out, so you can actually compare and contrast like how the game changes in ways that maybe even they didn't talk about.
It was like they never released Ghost.
Yeah, Ghost would have been amazing.
Like I always found it interesting
That's
looking
the
at
worst.
like was it like looking at like if you look at video game consoles, but at least back in the day when you'd get like an Xbox or something, and it'd have all these pictures on the back of the box for video games, and you'd get those when you got those actual video games, those pictures would not represent any part of the actual game.
Yeah,
because
I was looking at screenshots for World of Warcraft before it came out, and it's like this game looked awful.
But there's also
Actually,
Yeah.
promotional art that's promotional screenshots are often from content that's not even in the final product.
Oh yeah. Did you have you ever heard of the original trailer for Guild Wars 1?
No,
I've
I have
seen it.
not.
You should look it up. Anybody watching this video should go look it up. It is just the cringe-worthiest video trailer that I've seen in a very long time.
Did it convince them to just completely overhaul everything, or?
They hired an art director who pretty much just came in and was like, no, this is just all shit. Redo it, using my artwork. And it was the best choice they could have ever made. Because, like, the characters looked like they're from EverQuest 1. The trailer was, like, the lady says the word guild, like, 20-something times. It's really stupid.
Join your guild.
Yeah,
Fight
it's like for the glory of your guild. Yeah.
Serve your guild.
We have to make sure they know the name of the game. It's really important.
Which is funny, because, like, the actual Guild Wars game, like, if you follow the story, has nothing to do with guilds for the most part.
Yeah, and that's because the name's announced before the game's done.
Yeah.
It's like the
So,
Kickstarter
like,
problem where you're like, kickstart my project so I can start making this game, but like games normally fundamentally change during development, and so like Kickstarter almost like confines creativity in bad ways, and it does you like there's a weird like pre-existing or like as a self-fulfilling prophecy going on with what the game's called in the first place. But the top thing I think of, though, of like a game where they show you stuff in advance, but then everything changes, is or at least they don't, the thing you saw was not ever part of the game, was BioShock Infinite.
Really?
Do you remember BioShock Infinite's? They showed they showed like straight up gameplay videos, like playing through this area, and here's the girl, and here's the crazy floating town, and like it was actual gameplay footage of the guy playing is clearly like panning the camera in specific ways to show off pieces of scenery as he walks by and everything, and being all cinematic about it, but it's actually gameplay. There's a video of that that's like 13 minutes long, and none of that is in the game.
Wow.
Not only did
I
they
remember
go back and
the
look at
initial
that.
trailer, and it didn't really look much like what the game did in the end.
Yeah, you'd probably find it by finding the first ever. Look up like first gameplay video, probably.
I should look into that more often, because I love seeing games like well before they're done.
Yeah.
Because it's just such an interesting difference.
Or like the first
Like-
pre-rendered cutscene trailer they showed, where like it featured the character falling off of individual buildings and landing on other buildings and falling and like catching onto things, and like I think he gets beat up by something that seems like a Big Daddy. And I'm like, none of this represents the game. Like all of the, like
I was actually a little
there's
disappointed
no
that there
Big Daddy
weren't
in the
Big
game.
Daddies. Yeah. Like, there was the Patriot robots, but they were boring.
Dumb.
Yeah, you just kind of nuked them and that was it.
There were these unfortunate, like, mentally handicapped, like, crazy Hulk monster people, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, the Patriot robots. I was thinking of the handymans.
Yeah.
I think they were called
Handymen were
handyman.
weird.
They were.
Yeah, they were.
They could be really irritating to fight, because sometimes they were.
Yeah.
Sometimes they put you in situations where they were almost impossible to kill. So you had to just keep running away and trying to switch to certain weapons and stuff.
I vaguely remember that.
The Altar of Keepers, what does this do?
You
God.
You have to fight all of these guys, and then you fight Arcadis.
Okie dokie.
At least that's what I'm assuming is going on here. I have not exactly played a whole heck of a lot of...
Someone who's been
Cool
paying
Man.
close attention to my screen's probably been looking at my combo points getting unspent and just getting mad. Because I'm mostly Sinister Striking my way through these instances, and half the time I try to use a finishing move, the guy just dies. And then I'm programmed to not know about the idea of like Sinister Strike. I mean, combo points being persistent.
Yeah, it's true.
So in my head, I reset every time we fight something, and I have to do a few Sinister Strikes before I try to combo it afterwards.
I'm having a
Do you
hard
have
time getting
the-
more shot in.
Oh, shoot. Do you have the combo thing? Hello. Oh, hey.
I have
by the
no
way, turn
mods
in the
if that's what you're
quest.
thinking of.
No, turn in your quest if you've got a quest turn in, because it gives you a quest to go kill Arcadis. I just noticed this.
Where's the quest turn in?
I already
Do you
turned
see
it
the
in.
bonus objectives or in quests? Is down there.
Is it a person somewhere?
No, on your quest log.
You may have already done it.
I mean, my
should be
bonus objectives are all filled in, but it doesn't say turn in.
Oh, no, it's under that. Under quests. There's no big red circle with a question mark?
I might have clicked on it absentmindedly and already did it, I guess.
Okay, I mean, worst comes to worst, you just don't do the quest. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's possible.
What was I?
We're talking about a handyman, I think.
Oh, right. God, the weird trumpet people freaked me out. I did not like them. I did not like the mental asylum section of that game.
I didn't like
Honestly,
that all the twists happened at the very end of the game when the game was over. And you just watched a prolonged, like, 20-minute semi-interactive cutscene where it's like, here's the entire story of the game. We waited to the end to start showing you it. And I'm like, this is just a movie.
Honestly, the moment you started dimension hopping, it kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like, I did not like how the plot went. Like, the fact that Elizabeth got kidnapped into the future, or, like, you travel into the future temporarily.
Wow, 18,000 experience. That's a big
Jeez.
number to see show up.
What's that
That's a big
stone
old
of
thing.
strength? It's a finger?
Yeah, it gives you, like, strength and armor.
Oh, weird.
Huh.
Bonus armor.
Well, that's for me. I
Weird.
guess. Oh, hey, he's got a backpack that he drops. Yeah,
Second noodle
platinum
storing the
discs.
platinum discs.
What's platinum
that?
discs?
Oh,
Is that a
By the way,
quest?
you got a quest you can turn in. Yeah.
Do we do the second noodle thing or no?
Dungeon
We
complete.
might as well.
Yeah, let's do the bonus stuff. Ancient treasure. Yeah,
Okay, so
green
I think we have
items.
to come over here and talk to this guy.
Aw, none of these green items are good for me.
So this is like major plot stuff that I'm just going to skip past because we could totally just read about this on the wiki in a
It's
much
like-
more concise manner.
I feel like I'm closing pop-ups.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Wow, this is a long conversation.
It really is.
My character's never spoken so much in a video game before.
Yeah.
My character used 3 exclamation points. He's so excited about something.
Yeah.
I just assumed that he's just wildly racist because it said dwarves and 3 exclamation points, and I'm a wolf man, so I'm just assuming I hate wolves. I mean dwarves. What happened?
Wasn't...
Miniature
what
platinum
level are you
discs.
guys?
I'm 40.
Huh.
You're 44.
so
Jesus
that's-
Christ, chill.
We've gained 4 levels today.
I gained 3.
Well,
I'll gain a
I
4th
just
one
hit
in
44.
10%.
Yeah, see, you're pretty close. This has been a very productive session.
Where do we turn in the platinum discs? It's because we have access
have
to
to
all these
teleport-
high-level quests.
We have to teleport in and out. You know, that kind of business.
So where do I go?
You right-click on the eye, teleport in, teleport out, and then teleport back.
Teleport out of dungeon. See, my
Wait,
issue with playing. Do I just teleport back in now?
So we're
Yep.
teleporting out of dungeon?
And it teleports you
Weird.
to the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah. Works wonderfully.
But my issue with playing Zelda games is that I played my first ever 3D Zelda game after having already played like 2.5 Dark Souls games.
Oh, ow. Yeah, that would...
So for me, I was like, okay, so it's a game
This
where
is-
you lock onto people in a dungeon and you hit them with like 1 or 2 attacks and you have an item button, and I'm like, this is just like a baby version of Dark Souls where everything's really boring and not very difficult. And
does surprise me that-
they interrupt you to do really boring, awful puzzles along the way.